a lot of thunder with this lightning. A little bit of low rumbling, but nothing like usual. At least it don't seem anyway. Seen some pretty bright flashes and expected to hear some really loud thunder, but so far it's not been that loud or that massive. See my camera over there flashing. My building over there. It's been doing that for a few minutes. Pause it for a second. I had to cough a little bit. Didn't want to cough in the ears of my viewers. Yeah, it was pretty wild. This is the first time since I lived here that I've seen this much lightning in one storm. I'm assuming it's going to come a storm in a little bit. I don't think it's just heat lightning, but I honestly don't know. It could just be some heat lightning, but there is some clouds with it, so there might be a little rain here later. Which reminds me, I need to see if my mom got her piece of plywood back in the house she was painting. Told her I would help her put it away, and she's never asked me to, but I don't want it to rain on it. I just go over and check and see if she's gotten it put away or not. What's getting me with all this lightning is the lack of thunder. It's just, I've not seen any bolts of lightning per se. Usually when it's that bright, I'll hear more massive rumbles of thunder, maybe claps of thunder. Well, like I said, I ain't seen no bolts. Maybe it's just cloud to cloud or something like that's the difference. I really don't know. Don't know a whole lot about lightning. I know it's pretty awesome that nature actually could make such an intense electrical charge. Oh, excuse me. Wow. It's pretty cool over there. It's that one area, it seems. There's some to the left of what I've got the camera pointed towards, but it's like there's more in that one area right there. It's just really good. I was out here for a few minutes, and I thought, well, if it keeps doing this, I'll grab my camera and post me a video of it. And I had done it the whole time I was out here, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go get my camera and shoot this. Get this documented. It's pretty cool looking. I've been seeing videos of this happening, like around the world, just more than usual flickering lightning. It's almost like a strobe light at times, and I'm just wondering what the difference in the atmosphere is that's causing it to be kind of odd. I mean, it's odd lightning. I mean, I've seen it. Lightning like that, no doubt. It's cloud to cloud, but not for that long of a period and that many strikes, like consecutively. It's like it barely stops for a second and just keeps going. can say living here. I've lived here for about a decade now in this area. I live not too far from here, about 20 minutes down the road for longer than I have right here in this one spot. But, 20 minutes down the road ain't gonna have that different of weather, you wouldn't think. None of it's mountains, it's all just flat land, so we got these little tar hills here in North Carolina, so it's exactly the same kind of geography where I did live as here, so you would think the storms would be really similar here that's there. Of course, it's not that far away. And like I said, it's the first time I've seen this much flickering lightning go so steady for so long of a period. It was probably flickering like this for 5 to 7 minutes maybe before I picked up the camera. And it's doing the same thing over and over and over, and has been. Definitely out of the norm. I would move the camera to the other section down there, but it's not near as much going on down there as there is right here in this one little section. It's just occasionally in the other areas, like to the right and to the left of that area. And I don't think there's any behind me though. I've not seen any yet. It's all that direction to the left and right, and center right there. Guess that's where the storm's rolling in from, whatever, I don't know. It's getting a little more active to the left over here now. The right still just occasionally has a little flicker of lightning. But in the center, still way more active. I'll go ahead and put it down to the left now and try to keep my neighbor's lights out of it here. I don't need that. But yeah, down there you'll see how much more seldom it's flashing down that way. And over here to the right of where the camera is now, it's actually still doing the same thing over and over again. Just as often as it was. So yeah, as you can see, there's not much down that way at all. And if anything, you see light from the other area over here that there's some in that area, but it's seldom ever down there. We'll come back over here to that point, and it's just been wild for quite a few minutes. Oh, wow. Thinking it's going to come a good rain shower, but the wife wanted to water her corn this evening, and she got to cooking and everything, and I think she forgot about it. And honestly, I did too till just now, and as you can see, it's pretty dark now, so she don't need to be out here watering it and lightning it anyway. But yeah, like I say, it's about to get watered by nature anyway, so. I think she'll be good to skip this watering, which our gardens have basically dried up on us and just wilted away. They went from extremely healthy to just teetotally everything drying up. I don't know what happened. It's like right after the fruits and vegetables we were growing started to be produced on the plants in our gardens, they just started drying up. And I mean, we growed up taking care of gardens, we know how it's done, and hey kitty cat. And yeah, it's basically just all dried up on us all of a sudden as soon as it started to produce. Whoa, we were growing, it just took a turn for the worse and dried up. My wife got quite a few cucumbers and some squash, and my beans just got ravished, and that was my favorite thing to grow is beans. And well, we don't even have enough to cook one dinner for us 3 people of the beans, and I mean it's barely more than 1 serving out of the whole patch of them this year. I had 17 bean vines, and yeah, it ended up being just a handful, and then they dried out. And the tomatoes seem to have the tomatoes done well, and we ended up having several tomato plants, but they weren't any green ones though. And I love a fried green tomato. That's really the only kind of tomato I like. And this year was not the year for fried green tomato lovers. Oh, it was not. Because I think there's 2 right now on the tomato plants that we have under the lean-to on the building, just kind of out of the sun. And there's a couple of really good-sized green ones that I think I might finally get me a mess of fried green tomatoes this year. I'm hoping, because it's the whole reason I grow tomatoes. I've got a whole slew of red ones. We've already canned some of those this year. But that's about all we could get to grow was the tomatoes. And I got a few potatoes, but not many, which I didn't put many out. So it was just we just moved here like 6 months ago or something. And so we was kind of testing out different areas to see how, different things would grow. And I had some corn growing. It was just 1 corn stalk. Like I said, I'm just testing it to see the area I need to grow in the most. And it just went from being beautiful, and it started to produce corn on it. And then after it got a couple of cobs of corn on it, and they started to form and come together, it just dried out and died. And the wife's now, she's got several corn stalks in her little garden area, and it lasted longer than mine did. Mine had done dried out, wilted and dried out, and hers was still looking real pretty green, but now it's gotten to, it's all dry looking. It's not far behind mine over there, and mine's almost to the point I'm just going to go ahead and clip it off and take it out in the forest and dispose of it. It's pretty much, it's done died beyond saving now, and it's got too far gone, and there's nothing we changed all year about it. It should have by all means been perfectly fine and healthy. I don't know, can't understand it. The onions dried out and just wilted over. The carrots still look like they're doing okay. And anything else the wife had, she had some potatoes. She already had to dig them up already this year because the plant started to die, and before the potatoes rotted or something, she went ahead and dug them up. And then I had to do that the other day myself before my potatoes actually rotted away in the earth there. I went ahead and dug them up because the plant died that was above ground. I can't understand what's going on, what's happening. Everybody's garden's doing that. I'd never seen a season like this. Last year I didn't have a garden, but I heard some people online had done some videos and was talking about their fruits and vegetables when it came almost harvest time. It's just dried out. And that was last year, and like I said, I didn't have any, but they did, and this was like commercial growers that had done it for 30 years or better. They had never seen anything like it. And so I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't have a big garden. And then I did grow a small one this year just to kind of fill the area out. And I'm so glad it was just a small one, because if I'd have put a lot more time and effort into it, it would have just been that much more heartbreaking to see all my vegetables and fruits just totally decimated. I have no clue what happened. happening to everybody, not just me. It's kind of interesting down the road here. There's like a personal straight farm, you know. It's like a big old field of corn. It's all dried out. It's just like privately owned. And then there's a commercial farm, like right on the other side of the road, literally straight in front of it. All of its corn is beautiful green, and all the corn in the commercial property, but all the corn in the private property is as dry as mine. So that kind of looks suspicious, maybe I should say. But I don't know, man. This is crazy. I've never seen something like that in my whole life. So good luck to the farmers out there this year. I know it's not been good to me. I had some fertilizer remaining from, a couple years ago, so I was still good with fertilizer and stuff. Still don't have a problem. I don't grow a lot of food, so, a little bit of fertilizer goes a long way for me, so yeah. And I've been able to maintain, which I actually use natural organic fertilizer. I don't use the stuff with the nitrogen in it. I found some kind of fish emulsion fertilizer that does really well with tomatoes anyway. I use it on all my garden, but it didn't do as good with the other stuff as it does the tomatoes. It's really high in nitrogen. And I do believe tomato plants like some nitrogen pretty good, so most plants do, but I think the tomato plants took a little better to it. Now you guys, that's long enough for my video. I'm pretty sure that we've seen everything it's going to do. It's just going to keep lightning, so I'll not bore you guys with it, and y'all have a blessed day, morning, evening, whatever, whenever you watch this. Y'all stay blessed, and remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Anybody had any similar farming issues that wants to comment, just, leave me a comment, and we'll see if we can come up with an idea to prevent this happening to us all next year. You guys have a good one.